So I'm really excited to take this opportunity to talk to you about one of the most important defense mechanisms that our brain engages to help us manage our early development. It's really, really valuable. And for me, it's not, has your brain done this? It's to what degree has your brain done this? In all the work that I've done to help people deal with their confidence and their self-esteem and to improve their lives, this turns up every time. Now, that doesn't mean this is about you having no confidence. This can be about people that are already really confident, that want to feel even better. Or maybe you are experiencing challenges and you're really held back by how you feel about yourself with low self-esteem. But this defense mechanism is probably the most fascinating area of how we at one stage try and protect ourselves and how that goes on when we're an adult to be something that limits our idea of ourselves. Which is why I'm really excited to share this with you, because there is solutions and there are specific ways in which you can get behind that defense mechanism and actually resolve it. And it can make such a massive difference to your life that, yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you about that today. So essentially, as we're developing, the most important thing that we need to believe is that the people looking after us are safe. We need to believe that, because if we don't believe that, then we have no basic security. Everything's under threat and we cannot relax and we cannot function. So we, in many ways, just choose to believe that things are okay. We need to believe, certainly, that the people that are looking after us are okay, that they make the right decisions and that we are in their care appropriately. Okay, so how does that impact on us? Well, unfortunately, none of us had perfect parents. Many times they were maybe not present, not fully seeing you, not fully caring for you, or in some cases actually absent, or neglectful, or at worst even abusive in some ways. The problem with that is, as children, we still choose to believe that they are safe, that they are right. We need to believe that, because if we don't have that, everything's in question. And we just can't afford to dwell on that. So the challenge is, if they're right, and in psychological terms, this is called the idealization of the parents. If they are right, well then what if their behavior towards us isn't ideal? You know, whether it's a small detail or a big detail. What if it isn't always great? Or rather, what happened when it wasn't great? Well, the only way we can make sense of that is if we believe somehow that that behavior was appropriate. So if in our hearts we know that we actually did deserve more affection, or we could have been supported more completely, or they could have been more present, yet we cannot really truly question them, the only way we can make sense of it is if we believe their behavior was appropriate because of something to do with us. And so our unconscious comes up with this idea that, hey, maybe, you know what, it's our fault. And this is so common. And it's not down to us actually deep down believing there's something wrong with us. It's something that we choose to believe because it makes better sense and it's more comfortable, actually, than thinking that there's something wrong with our carers. And so, well, you know, where does that leave us? Well, that means if there's a part inside us that deep down wants to believe there's something wrong with this. It's not that it thinks there's something wrong with this, it wants to, because by holding on to that, well then it makes sense of something which was previously too painful to think about. So it's actively there, going to be maybe behaving in ways or driving behavior that holds that in place. So for example, someone may turn up in your life that is utterly loving, totally into you, and for some reason, you push them away. Or in a small case, maybe someone gives you a compliment, and it doesn't feel comfortable. Now, maybe you've learned to accept compliments because you know it's appropriate. Or maybe you're fine with compliments anyway. But the point is, there are these number of ways in which we push away the good, and we maybe feel more comfortable with someone not treating us so well, Or we specifically have absolute outright damaging self-sabotage, where we just get in the way of ourselves all the time, almost magically, with our eyes wide open, seeing ourselves do that. And it's because in some ways, if we were to experience that good, or to receive that love, or to allow ourselves to believe that we are okay, then what happens is that means we automatically become aware of the fact that, well, hold on a minute, if I'm okay, what was that all about? What were they about? Where were they? Or why were they like that? And that brings up that very early concern, that very early resistance to our true awareness of what our carers were like at some times. Now, this is not, about criticizing your parents. They did their best, or the people that were looking after you. They did their best. You know that. You've probably already come to terms with the ways in which your carers probably or possibly let you down at times. But when we deny the truth of our experience, or the truth of our perception at that time, what we do is we're hiding from a part of ourselves, and that part remains repressed, feeling difficult, blaming itself, worrying about its own value. And what that part requires is for you to essentially revisit it and give it space, give yourself space to be actually truly honest. Not in a compassionate, understanding they did their best kind of way. You get to that next. What actually needs to happen first is to feel how you felt. Because it's the feelings that you were not prepared to feel that require the defense mechanism that I'm not good enough, or I'm not okay, or I don't deserve love, or I can't succeed, or I'm only worth this amount of money. All these things that stop us from having the amazing lives that we deserve. And so the solution, in principle, is simple. It is to go and feel the emotions that you were once not prepared to feel, which is to be honest with yourself about how it felt when those parents behaved in certain ways, or didn't behave in certain ways, or were present or not present in a number of ways in which people are. And if as you're listening to this, you are thinking to yourself, well, they put a roof over my head, if this annoys you or frustrates you, or it's understandable, this is not about wallowing in your past and feeling sorry for yourself. This is literally just about having the capacity to truly feel the truth of your experience without changing it. And through that, then you can begin to find your value, to really connect with your true worth, and to step beyond the need to hold yourself back, to push away love, and to push away success. And this journey is probably the most important journey that anyone can do. And it's not a one-off thing. It involves revisiting, and as you move and as you change and as you have your own children and life develops. So you need to really keep revisiting these ideas of who you are and how honest you are about how the people looked after you and how that impacted on what you believe you're worth. So I really invite you to, whichever way is appropriate for you, to explore the many different ways that are available to you to go on that journey. Good luck.